Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. Welcome back to another 1 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strangeroad Jim, and today we got ourselves some more Pega certification to study. We got some Unreal after this. Going to be going over a new topic there. We have some more videos to make public. And then we got some Star Rail later on tonight. So that's the lineup for today's stream. Now, for those of you that are just interested in the Pega certification, well, let me explain what this is all about. Or maybe you're clicking on it for the very first time. So I do these streams, or at least I try to do these streams daily. Um, Going over the certification for the system architect for the Pega certification. Um, I'll explain a little bit, why I do it in just a minute. Um, but I'm currently working towards trying to get my system architect certification. I make these videos for anybody to either help me out with my own personal questions, because there's some topics that I might not fully understand myself, and it might help out anybody else that might be struggling as well. Okay, so now um, that's kind of a little bit about what the videos are all about. Now, for myself, a little bit about me is that I'm currently a unemployed or out of work software developer whose last job was with the Pega environment. We were trained at my last company with an authorized training partner. Um, Trying to learn how to, work with Pega. However, pretty much the entire team of individuals being trained all went pretty much self-study. We were not getting along very well with the individual himself, trying to train us. Um, it got so bad that even the guy's coworkers knew that he was messing up and saw firsthand that he was messing up. So it wasn't just, if you're like, oh my gosh, it's you're just making, you know, you're just causing you're just saying this, you know. No, literally the guy's coworkers saw him mess up, you know. And it's like when you have someone, there was a moment in time where he instructed his coworkers that were going to be kind of testing us about the material. He told them that we had covered this section, and this section. However, we had not covered that last section. He put it in his notes that, hey, we covered this. And I sent it to them. And they said, wait, I'm asking you this question about this particular section. We're like, we never had that yet. So, yeah, it was bad. They they saw firsthand that um, that he straight up lied to them. So, um, and he should have known better. So, because we were the only team that he was instructing at the time, so why would he lie to the test givers? There's no reason for him to do that. So, and it's really easy for him to inform them of what we've covered. So, yeah, it got pretty bad. Now, some of us were able to pass the certification and move on from there. Some of us were still struggling with it. They forced me to try to take the 8.6 certification, and I definitely was not ready. I knew that I was going to fail it. I informed them that I was going to fail it if I was going to be forced to take it. And, well, they said, you have to take it or we're getting rid of you. So I took it. I failed it. And I asked to be placed back into another training cycle, and they didn't want that. They wanted me out on a contract immediately. So they didn't necessarily fix the mistakes that they were doing. So now it does fall on me to try to continue with the self-study that I did, but I didn't. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more mentorship after the fact, but that didn't come. So, so yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. So, now if you're clicking on these videos and you're wondering, am I an authorized training partner or is this instructor-led training? Then no, it is not. I'm trying to get my certification much like anybody else that's new to the Pega environment. Um, so I'm trying for this much like anybody else that is working towards it. So um, also, I'm not being endorsed in any way by Pega at all. There's, the only communication that I have with them is I send them suggestions about how to fix certain topics or certain problems that I find, and they either say, "Yay, let's go ahead and fix this," or "Nah, it doesn't need to be fixed." That's about it. That's about as much as we have in terms of communication with each other. Okay, so if you think that I'm getting like some kind of special treatment in some way, somehow, then please remove that from your thought line because there isn't anything going on. So, um, not to say that I wouldn't mind, some support from Pega Academy, um, but at the same time, um, I can only, you know, I can't really expect them to go out of their way for a small channel like me. Um, so that's okay. Um, so let's go into the dashboard and I'll discuss a little bit more here because if you are trying to study for your business architect certification, know that we are done. We've already completed the business architect certification, or not the certification. We've already tested and we've already completed the mission for business architect, the 2 missions and 2 modules. So if you want to study up on that, then I would suggest that you go back through my previous videos on my playlist. They're all there. All the topics, all the challenges, all the modules, so on and so forth. So, including these last two. Now, I will say, these last two are covering the Pega Express delivery. I would highly recommend that you cover this mission Pega Express delivery because I don't feel like these 2 modules gives you enough information to cover the 12% that's going to be thrown at you on the business architect certification. So be ready for that. Okay. Also, by this, as you can see by this point of recording, or maybe you can't see, I don't know. Yeah, okay, it does show up. Um, they've already done on Pega Platform 8.8, and they're currently working on Pega Platform 23. Okay, they still haven't translated 8.8, so I went ahead and went with 8.7 because let's face it, it's not just me that is covering all of this information. There are other languages as well that could use these videos for some reason. So um, use these videos for studying. So I hope that I help you out in some fashion, even if it's just a matter of you want to use them to learn English a little bit more. That's perfectly fine too. Use whatever you can to grow. So, all right. So we're going to continue with our system architect journey. Yesterday we covered a full-on module with all the topics therein, as well as the module quiz. Um, the localizing application content. So that's all and done. We're clear on that. Now we have localizing a UI form, which they say is 45 minutes. Yikes, that's going to be a bit rough, because if it is indeed 45 minutes long, then I'm probably going to be running into problems with teaming up with Blackheart with the Unreal. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and message him right now, so he's not caught flat-footed on this. Just FYI, one of the Pega challenge that I'm working on right now is saying that it is 45 minutes long, so I might be late to the Unreal. All right. Just so he knows that, might have some, it might take a while. Now, we're going to be going through each of these three tasks here, and then we're going to be, confirming the work afterwards. So, now there's the challenge walkthrough, which, goes through each of these detailed tasks, and, you need to, um, if there's maybe like you have steps A, B, and C in terms of Pega, right? Um, but yet the detailed task might not show you step B. They show you step A, they show you step C, but they don't talk about how you do step B. The challenge walkthrough kind of shows the steps that they do, so sometimes it's very useful. If you're having trouble with the challenge itself, okay? Typically, the detailed tasks are fairly ish informative, so we don't really use the challenge walkthrough, okay? But it's there if needed, but we're most likely not going to be using it. So the scenario is GoGo Road stakeholders have a requirement to translate the new vendor case type to Spanish. Use the localization wizard to localize the new vendor case type of the GoGo Road application, export the files, translate properties on a UI form into Spanish, import the files, set the localization settings, and test the translated form. The following table provides credentials you need to complete the challenge. Alright, so now we just need to wait for it to finish off preparing the Pega instance. Again, the 45 minutes here does not take into account the instance here, how long this takes. So they don't consider this part of the overall process. Why, I don't really know. I feel like they still should show that anyway. Add 5 minutes to your time limit here just to say, hey, you're prepping the Pega instance. Because it's still time that you're using to go through the process. So at least that's my opinion. So oh boy. Okay, there it goes. So we're gonna go ahead and launch it. As you can see, we open up a new window. I'll bring up the Pega website with the password and all that. So put in that information there. All right. So we're going to be messing with the configure at the very top of the screen, but we have to get to the dev portion or the dev studio portion um, of the Pega application. So we're going to have to switch over to that as soon as it's ready. So, but it's going to take a little bit of time to get through this. So, okay. Now it automatically throws you into App Studio. Now, you know, if you were on a project, then I would imagine that your manager or whomever is in charge of the Pega server, they should, you know, state whether or not your profile automatically goes into App Studio, Dev Studio, whatever. Um, you know, the fact that it doesn't start you off in Dev Studios, I find kind of, unfortunate. Because they're kind of wasting my time on this. They could easily have given us a profile that has only Dev Studio, for example. So now, if there's a profile that requires, um, modification between the two, switching between the dev and the app and so on and so forth, then okay, sure, you know, understandable about that. But, um, you know, I think they could do a little bit more on that. Okay, so user interface, application readiness. So user interface, application readiness, localization, and I believe it's translate to a new language. Let me verify. Yeah, translate to a new language. So, okay. In the select a language drop-down list, select Spanish ES and click Add. Spanish ES Add. And we don't need to click any check marks or anything like that. We just need to click Next twice. If a no unlocked rule sets available message displays, close the message window and deselect and select the Go-Go Road rule set. So we do next. Next. Okay. This step will enable records for translations only for unlocked rule set versions into any language by enabling the localized setting for each record. While records in Pega 7 are set by default to be translatable, older rules may not be. It is recommended for first-time translations. May take several minutes to run. Um, so then you click the Enable Records for Translation to set the localization flag on each record. So, um, translation script completion may take a few minutes. The count of enabled records may vary as your practice environment supports the completion of multiple challenges. Click Next after it's all done, and then click Download from Translation to create a translation pack. Okay, it's already done. So click Next, and then we click the Download for Translation. This may take several minutes. The translation pack automatically downloads to your default downloads folder, which I don't really like, but I mean, it is what it is. So after you do the whole download and it saves, then we click Next, and then we save the work ID of the translation in progress into a text editor for further reference, and click Close to close the localization window. Okay, um, so we have to wait for this to finish off. Then we click Next. This one apparently it takes a little bit longer to handle than the previous one. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it has just downloaded. So click Next, and then we save the work ID to a text file, and thankfully I have one kind of already set aside, or I have one available to me. You can't see it obviously, but that's, I'm just saying, like I said, like they suggested, save the work ID. So there's no worries about that. And click Close to close the localization wizard. So done. Um, Edit the text to translate.xml file. Extract the contents of the translation package to your local drive. The translation package decompresses to a folder named translation underscore arrow language selected for translation underscore date archive created underscore timestamp. For example, translation Spanish 2021 3 5 15 37 29. Okay. In the translation files folder, open the text to translate.xml. Okay, so I'm going to need to go to my downloads folder. Sorry, you're probably not going to be seeing this, but I can see here translation Spanish 2023 11:30 21 31 59. So, but obviously I need to move that into some random folder that I'm probably going to need to kind of get rid of later anyway. So, here, let me go ahead and move it into where I normally put my screenshots for Pega. And then I will go ahead and extract all there. Okay, which opened up the, obviously the extraction folder opened up. So, um, so in the translation files folder, which there is one. So, again, I'm not I'm not wanting to show too much here there, folks, so you'll have to kind of take my word for it. So there is a translation files folder. And in there is a text to translate.xml file. So we need to open that up. Using Microsoft Excel 2003 or later, you can edit this file by clicking the Enable Editing button when spreadsheet first opens. Um, so, um, hmm. It's not really giving me a lot to choose from on this in terms of what files I can use to translate it. Um, I'm going to just use my Notepad++. Yeah, because you can still kind of see all the information in there for the most part. It's messy, but you can use it. But it's it's a lot. There's a lot of information here. In a in a text editor, like Notepad++ or just Notepad in general, it is quite a bit of information to give you. Okay. Um, to be honest, I don't know why you'd want to use an Excel spreadsheet for it. That seems a little bit odd for an XML file, in my particular opinion. But I mean, whatever you need to get the job done, I guess. So, um, hmm. Enter the Spanish text in column B translation for the labels listed in the following table. Hmm. Um. Okay. Well. Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Name is a little bit more rough here. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Um. Here I was thinking that it'd be just pretty simple to edit in a simple um, notepad, but they're not really giving me a lot of information here, are they? In terms of, they're wanting me to use a spreadsheet to edit this, and that's a little weird because normally you don't see XML files being placed in a spreadsheet. So um, and unfortunately, I don't have Microsoft Excel right at this moment in time, so I think I'll just have to see if I can maybe do this through like maybe Google Sheets a little bit. Um, Let me see if I can add the file. It's not supported for upload. Okay, so can't use um, can't use school sheets for this. Okay. Well, that makes this a little bit harder to work on then. Um, because this isn't your standard Excel, you know, um, type file. This is an XML. So the fact that they don't have a way for you to kind of um, if you don't have Microsoft Excel at all, then they don't have a way for modifying it. Um, they really should, to be honest. Um, so it's going to be kind of left to me as to how to go about editing this. So for task 2, if the access to Microsoft Excel, then where can I put the translation into the XML file to have the change work? Normally, I use a text editor when working with XML files. So seeing Microsoft Excel be amended is a bit odd for me. Maybe that is common practice, but that's a first for me. Could you maybe add methods on how to modify the XML file without Microsoft Excel? It would be helpful for me. I can't afford the yearly subscription for Excel. Okay, let's see. Let me look it up here as to how I can maybe try to find some way of working around this. XML file into table format. Okay, I see someone trying to do a how to convert XML to spreadsheet using Notepad++ app. I mean, let me see what these guys have to say about it. Don't really care about the examples that they're talking about. Skipping through that. Oh my God. Are you trying to tell me that this guy is just trying to remove the data from an XML into a spreadsheet that way? Oh, Jesus. That's not. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's see. I forget where is the formatting for C++. I'm not seeing it. Hmm. Notepad plus plus format. Um, okay. It's not something that is automatically generated, huh? Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. So let's try to find latitude again. Hmm. Okay, I think I see where I can change this. Obviously, this is a bit. We'll see if this is indeed a bit. Um, okay. Okay. I can only assume what I'm changing here at the moment, so and hope that I'm actually getting it correctly based off of my interpretation of what I'm seeing on the XML and um, what they're giving me in the example here at the moment. So, hmm, let's see. I'm hoping that I can. There is a value here. There's a lot of names here, and it's a little concerning. Okay, there we go. Oh, I see someone in chat there. Hey there, Arjab, or Arjav. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. What's your channel about? Oh, I do various content. Right now, I'm currently working on Pega certification. I have a playlist all about that right at this moment in time. In a couple minutes, I should be switching on over to Unreal Engine studying with my friend Blackheart, and um, I also play some games. So you'll be seeing a lot of playlists about that as well. So right now, I'm currently seeing about trying to fix. They didn't really give a way to modify the XML file um, here using a standard notepad editor. So um, okay, so I guess I'm done with those. So because I'm doing doing a translation in column B, so I'm hoping that I'm doing it correctly. But I don't know. I'm not 100% sure um if what I'm doing is exactly correct or not. Um because they didn't really put all of this information like in the next to each other in the XML content here. So I don't know if what I'm doing is, what they want me to do. So I'm hopeful that the translation kind of went through, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So now I have to import the translation pack back. So now we're gonna go. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and close that down. Um, so we are going to go to configure, user interface, application readiness, localization, um, and then where are we looking at? Translations in progress. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so select the appropriate translation work ID that you noted when running the translation wizard. Okay, so let me go and grab that. Okay, select the appropriate translation work ID. Select the Go-Go Road Spanish and enter 010101 as the rule set version to which you want to save the translations. So, okay, so I mean, it's here, it's steady and open, so you know, but select the Go-Go Road Spanish, and then we have 01-01-01 there. If you pick a non-localized rule set, the wizard creates a new localized rule set and version. And the wizard imports translations to the existing localized rule set. For the HTML paragraphs, correspondences, and correspondence fragments, enter that as well. So click next, click choose file. Okay, so next, choose file. And I'm assuming they're probably going to want me to go and pick the XML file. I'm assuming. Oh, they are not letting me change. Cancel out of that. Let me confirm that real quick before I um, choose file and select the updated translation package you created in the previous steps. Um, okay. That doesn't tell me exactly updated translation package. I mean, am I supposed to? No, I can't change. I can't select the folder. I mean, I don't want to change. Select the translation instructions to HTML. That's not a file. So I'm assuming the XML file that they're referring to, because that's something that I modified. So we're going to do that one. Click next to import the translation pack. So I'm assuming that's, nope, apparently not. Please upload a valid zip file. Ah, okay. So I'm gonna have to go to the I'm going to have to kind of go back to this and rezip it. So um, oh wait, let's go ahead and get rid of that just so it knows, hey, no, I don't want to add it into the uh, there, we'll just do that. Okay. So apparently it didn't really like that very much, which is understandable. It wants the full zip file, so let's try that again. Um, Click finishing, click close to close the localization wizard. It didn't really say anything, you know, successfully imported 0? Okay, that's a little weird, but translation values have been imported successfully. Okay. Um, close the localization wizard. Okay. So that's done. So now in the header of the Dev Studio, click Configure User Interface, Application Readiness, Localization, and Locale Settings. So here, you know what? I'm going to move this to another tab so I can kind of see exactly what we're kind of looking at here. Which obviously you're only going to be seeing the Peg dev. So obviously, if you want to kind of follow along with me on in terms of the steps, I would recommend that you you know look at you know the localizing a UI form challenge yourself. So it says here in the header of the Dev Studio, click Configure. Oh, I can't really read that from there. Let's do this. Okay, so configure user interface. Oops. Hold on. Stop. User interface, application readiness, localization, and locale settings. That's the one that we want. From the use locale drop-down list, select Spanish. Spain. So Spanish Spain. There we go. And then click Update. I hope that it did that. Because it doesn't seem like it wants to return to the GoGo Road application and create a new vendor case. Create new vendor. When the UI form is displayed, verify the field labels are translated as shown in the following image. I hope so. It might not be. Again, I was trying to use a notepad for it. Um, Okay, it did not. So the changes that I made did not take effect. So I guess the location on which I modified um, the values in the notepad failed. So not sure what I can do about that right at this moment in time. I'd have to basically be messing around with the XML file multiple times in order to try to get the exact values down um, for it to um, for it to show up properly. As you can see, it has not changed. So my attempt to modify it through a text editor did not work as planned, so I'm gonna have to maybe do this again tomorrow. So sorry there, folks. We're gonna have to postpone the rest of the um, rest of this for tomorrow. I'll go ahead and maybe mess around with this a little bit more tonight. Find out exactly where they mean by column B in terms of the text file, and then continue trying to do this till I get like the right location that they're talking about here. So apologies. I don't know. Um, I don't have Microsoft Excel, so I can't do anything there. So yeah. Well, I'll just have to close this down for now. Um, and I'll come back tomorrow for this challenge with the right location. I'll tell you what I did, and we'll complete it properly. But obviously, I don't want to click on the mark it as complete because, well, we didn't do it. So I'm not going to select that. So, all right, but that's going to be it for our Pega Studies session for today. I need to switch on over to Unreal because um, Blackheart's kind of waiting for me on that study session, so we're going to go ahead and switch on over real quick. So stay right there. We'll be back in just a minute or two for Unreal, and um, but yeah, that's where we're going to go ahead and end the Pega session. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully I catch you next time. Until then, take care. Have a good night. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll catch you strangers next time.